Hello again, everybody. It's JJ, also known as Bion King, here on YouTube. Sorry about the long distance from one video to the next. Phone has been kind of on the fritz of late. Not to use it or anything, it's just, it can't really upload longer videos or anything, or record them. So kind of just recording Commander videos and everything, get to like 20 minutes, cuts out on me, and I kind of rage like the Hulk. Not to where a whole city is destroyed, but I get mad. Anyways, today's video is going to be kind of short because it's just one of those easy deck techs to make. So today's deck tech is Pauper, and as you can kind of see, basically all three colors that we're using in the deck are showing up. I mean, you can partially see the cards right there, but anyways, today's deck tech is Pauper, and our Pauper deck tech today is Sultai. And I'll say what the name of it is at the end, but anyways, so for our land base we have 6 swamps, 5 islands, 3 forests, 4 evolving wilds, 3 dismal backwaters, and 1 thornwood falls. Now we are barely running green, so this is kind of the good thing to set up, and one of these videos, one of these days, I'm going to make a video on how to build a proper mana base. Not one to where it's like you need fetch lands and dual lands, shock lands, everything like that, but just kind of color, how to help fix your colors. So that's our land base right there, and not only will I make that video, I'll kind of make an update video on what's happening and why I'm not uploading so much. And I might make that either, who knows, today or tomorrow. So just keep watching for that. So anyways, let's go into our first card, our just single 1-drop. So strange augmentation. So enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Delirium gets another +2/+2 if there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard. So in this deck you can trigger Delirium. And sorry, I just have to clear my throat there. We are running 5 different if you count this one, but the 4 different we are running are creature, instant, sorcery, and land. So there's that. Now on to our 2-drops. We have Moldgraph Scavenger. We have 3 of these. 3 is just the right amount. So I don't want to get a lot of flack for saying this, but I mean, so Delirium, he gets +3/+0 if there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyards. He is a 0/4 initially, but then turns into a 3/4. I don't want to get, like I said, I don't want to get a lot of flack for this, but he's kind of like the Pauper version of Tarmogoyf. Now, Tarmogoyf is definitely a lot better than him, trust me, because with Tarmogoyf, if you had Delirium active, he'd be a 4/5, while this is only a 3/4, but that's the Pauper version of him, while Tarmogoyf is a rare that's like $200, and I'm not willing to drop money like that for a card like that, even though it's good. And let's just go on to our next card. We have 3 Nagging Thoughts. So look at the top card of your library, put that card into, look at the top 2, sorry. Put 1 into your hand, other into your graveyard, and then Madness. So Madness means you can cast this at instant speed if you discard it into exile, and then pay its Madness cost, and then it goes to the graveyard. So just letting you know, in this deck right now, and you'll see it with the next card that I'm going to show up, Corpse Turn, we have 2 of them. So put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, then you may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. This deck does a lot of self-milling. We want to fill our own graveyard a lot, and that's because the last pile, you'll see why. So anyway, again, like I said, put the top 3 into your graveyard, and then you may return a creature card. Remember, may means it is not forced, so that's a good thing. And say there is no creatures, or you just don't want to return one, you can choose to skip that. Then we got Tygam Scheming. So look at the top 5 cards of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest back on top of your library in any order. So say you look at the top 5, there are 4 cards on top you don't want, and you know you're not going to need them, but there is 1 card on top. It says you may put any number of them into the graveyard. So say the 4 you don't want, you can put those into the graveyard, and the top 1 you can keep on top. So definitely run that. If you have multiples of those, run them. They're really good. And then we have Rapid Bite, target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. And then, sorry about this, sorry about me. Anyway, Macabre Waltz, return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, then discard a card. So, like I said, a lot of graveyard filling, and there's my arm, whee! Anyways, a lot of graveyard filling and stuff like that. There isn't a lot of removal in Pauper in general, so that's why I have the Rapid Bite in there. Now, on to our other cards. Here are 3 drops. So we have Raksha's Dismay, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. Essentially, if you play this card, it's more like just counter spell. Because I've played tested this deck before, just thought of somebody playing a spell I didn't like, played Raksha's Disdain, and I counted 13. So, can someone really pay 13 for a spell? I mean, it's kind of hard. Not even any of my Pauper decks can get up to 13 right now. But then again, I haven't made a ramp deck, so there's that. Next we have Forbidden Alchemy. So look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand, rest into your graveyard, and this has flashback. So flashback means exile it and make a copy of it from the graveyard. So that's good right there. And I'm going to show you how this deck runs here in a moment. We got Scout the Border, so reveal the top 5 cards, put a creature relent, or it's a May ability, from among them into your hand, and then put the rest into your graveyard. Then we got Armored Scab. When this enters, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. And finally, Pieces of the Puzzle. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put up to 2 instant and or sorcery cards from among them into your hand. So it says up to 2. So say you don't want to even at all, you can choose to skip that, or say there are no sorceries that show up. So that's kind of good. And then, now on to our 4 drops. We have Undead Servant, and we definitely have a full play set of them. So like I said, this is a lot of self-milling, so say maybe 2 are in the graveyard and then you cast 1. So when Undead Servant enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token on the battlefield for each card named Undead Servant in your graveyard. So like I said, say 2 are in your graveyard because you self-milled them from your library, and then you cast 1, you're going to get 2 2/2 zombies. So that's good. And whenever playing this deck, just be careful how you organize your library. Or, not your library, your graveyard. Because you can't really organize your library, that's cheating. But how you organize your graveyard. So, how you want to make it is you kind of want to keep these, and the, oh, sorry if I can find them. I mean, it's going to take me a while, just give me one moment. The Forbidden Alchemy, you kind of want to put those into a pile called Important, and then just the other stuff into a pile called Unimportant, like stuff that doesn't really matter anymore. So how I'd organize it is you put Forbidden Alchemy, the Undead Servants, and at least 4 cards of different card types into an Important pile. That way you can have Delirium active and stuff like that. But anyway, here's what the whole deck runs around. Not just this, but basically the mechanic. Delve. Each card you exile from your graveyard pays for 1. So Will of the Naga, we run 2 of these. So tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their untap step. And we run 2 Hooting Mandrills. So Delve again, trample for a 4/4. Then we run 2 Sultai Scavengers. So a 3/3 flyer for 6. Essentially, it could be a 1-drop. The only one that can't really be a 1-drop is the Will of the Naga. But this is basically the creature you always want to delve for, is Gurmag Angler. So it is a 5/5, no other inherent abilities, but you can delve it, and say you exile 6, it just costs 1 black. So, yeah, this is what this whole deck is based around, and, so, it's Sultai Delver. You don't, I don't have him, but you can run the Delver of Secrets. He'd work really well. If so, I'd just say maybe get rid of some maybe graveyard fillers, or maybe a Moldgraph Scavenger or 2. But for now, this is what I had, and it's good. The problem I don't like with Pauper is no local game store I have gone to. Well, I only go to one, which is my local game store here. Is that nobody really plays Pauper. And what I mean by that is no local game store sets up a Pauper tournament and then you can join in and then be like, ooh, this deck's fun, this deck's fun. I just make Pauper decks on the sideline so you guys can, who still play Magic Online or maybe have a local game shop that plays Pauper, can play and enjoy these decks. Or just say you're somebody like me. I got a lot of my collection from other people who play Magic, and they're just like, here, have a bunch of commons and uncommons I didn't want. So that's how a lot of my collection grew, and I'm just kind of deciding what to do with the common cards. So that was one of the things to do, was build Pauper decks. And the funny thing is how I got into Pauper was an actual Pauper tournament that my one store had, and they haven't had it since, and that's been about 4 months ago, so yeah. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy the video, and sorry about the shaking. I'm just trying to hold this thing correctly. It's kind of hard to hold. It's on my tablet, and it's just not a lot heavier, but just a bit heavier than the phone. So, anyways, again, I hope you all enjoy and like my videos. Subscribe if you want. My content is okay. And, anyways, have a good day. Bye!